Hello Africa, my name is Hafeestonova.
My name still remains Nanyaa.
This is Icons of Africa.
I have dedicated my life to this struggle of the African people.
Icons of Africa is where we get to tell you incredible things about the great men and women of Africa.
I do project myself because I do play the music. But what I really want to project is happenings in the African continent itself.
Those who are dead but shouldn't be forgotten. Those who are more than legends.
And those we call icons.
Hello, Africa. Welcome to the first episode of the second season on Icons of Africa. And today we'll be talking about Ahebi Ugbabe. Ahebi Ugbabe was king and warrant chief of Enugu-Ezike, Nigeria. She was the only female king in colonial Nigeria. Ahebi Ugbabe was born in the later part of the 19th century to Ugbabe Ahebi, a farmer and palm wine tapper, and Aneku Ame, a farmer and trader, in Umuida, Enugu-Ezike. She had two brothers and no sisters. She lived with her mother's family in Unadu for a brief period before returning to Umuida. After her return, she did not stay long before running away.
She escapes to Igala land as she was running from an order for her to be married to a female deity as punishment for her father's crime. This punishment was known as Igo Mahogo, which means to become the in-law of a deity. Her family had gone through a series of unfortunate events when she was 13 and 14. The farm yielded little, illness spread, and trading was slow. Her father had gone to a diviner, someone who was perceived as knowing the unknown. This man had correlated the event to the wrath of a goddess, Ohe, due to his crime. During her first exile, Ahebi became a prostitute and used this form of work to her advantage. Along her travels, Ahebi learned to speak numerous languages such as Igala, Nupe, and Pidgin English. Her success and independence helped her to redefine sex work in Igbo culture from the servitude to a voluntary profession. Her sex work and linguistic skills gave her access to Ata Igala and the British divisional officer, who not only facilitated her return to Enugu-Ezike, but supported her claim to the office of headman, warrant chief, and later king.
Ahebi's reign began a few months after she returned to Igbo land from exile. Ahebi was the only person in her village able to speak with the British. She replaced the aged and increasingly incompetent headman, Ugu Okegu, who was unable to communicate with the British. She was made the only woman warrant chief in all of colonial Nigeria in the British native courts. Although Ahebi commanded the respect of her people, she sowed seeds of resentment by conscripting forced labor and imposing a census and a British tax. The Igbo people did not believe that human beings should ever be counted. This census caused the Women's War in southern Igbo land.
At first, Ahebi easily quelled whatever resistance to her kingship because of her British backing. Ahebi amassed wealth and power, but ultimately fell from grace when the extent of her multiple gender and power transgression became too much for her community. She overreached in her ambition and violated a social norm by attending a spiritual masquerade ritual with her own mask. This ritual was for men only. The male elders and Ahebi went to court to settle the case, and the British sided with the male elders, undermining Ahebi's rule.
Ahebi Ugbabe cultivated an aura of mysticism to solidify an image of all-powerful rule. She used pre-colonial traditions to push this mysticism and therefore power. She also used this to augment her gender to effectively make herself king. Another way that Ahebi asserted herself as a man was she collected multiple wives, many of whom were runaways from abusive husbands. She also had multiple servants who would help her. These wives would bear children to continue Ahebi's name.
Before Ahebi died, she performed her own burial rites. She did not trust that her society would accord her a befitting burial. She intended to perform the rite in such a magnificent manner that her society would never forget that an incredible being such as herself had lived. Her living funeral included gunfire, animal sacrifice, and glorious music of remembrance.
Ahebi died in 1948. Although she was a woman, she was buried according to the local customs for burying men. Her life's impact is described by Nwando Achebe. She was a slave married to a deity, a runaway, a sex worker, a headman, a warrant chief, and ultimately a female king. She was a strong leader of her people, yet also a collaborator empowered by and serving the British colonial regime in Nigeria.
British District Officer W.H. Lloyd said Ahebi was a lady of influence and power. She is intelligent and of a quiet disposition. When she does speak, it is usually to the point and sensible. That's all on today's episode of Icons of Africa. Remember, new episode drops every Thursday.
If you are a fan of this content, kindly hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. Bye-bye.